But anyway,
Definitely should feel like you should say more. But you're right.
so what's your thoughts on the Jogan maybe making an appearance in this arc, like the Stop Jura or whatever?
Immortal thoughts?
So,
How would you feel if it happened?
if it happened, like I would say I would be happy. Part of me would feel happy if it came in this arc, but I feel like that there should be a really special circumstance for the Jogan's awakening. So I think I was kind of theorizing about this with Chat GDP because I was really curious about how chapter 23 is going to end off because, we've seen Boruto pretty much only use a standard Rasengan. He was going crazy with the Flying Thunder God, trying to get some sword hits and then use a weaker variant of the Rasengan Uzahiko. And, Joris pretty much was able to counterattack, react, and tank each and every one of his, abilities. And the part of the reason why Boruto's even fighting Jorah at the beginning is so he can be able to give Konohamaru, Araya, Mitsuki, everyone else a chance to get the Thorn Souls back to the people that are trapped within the God trees. But I was just like, dang. So Boruto pretty much used almost everything in his kit, still didn't work against Jorah. So what else does he have left? Well, he's got Karma, but he doesn't want to use that. And the main reason why is not just because he's afraid of Momoshiki, because, well, he's eroding. He's eroding, and the next time, Momo takes over, it's probably going to be permanently. Because I speculated this for a long time, but ever since Boruto took those Byakugan pills, everything just changed. As in, when Momoshiki revived Boruto using the last remaining 18% of the Karma Seal's data to make him a full-fledged Otsutsuki, one of the side effects was, their thoughts overlapping one another. And so I was like, wow, that is pretty interesting. That's a very interesting side effect. Because
I don't even understand why that's a side effect. Just a side tangent. Why did that change anything?
Well, it changed because when Boruto took the pills, we've seen that, a temporary solution for his karma.
No, I mean, like, why does the supplementing the data thing make their minds cross over? Why is that a side effect?
Hold on. Oh shit, my mic. Not my.
I still hear you.
Well, my mouse head went out. I didn't know that.
Oh well, there you go.
I was trying to. Okay, there we go.
Earth to Immortal.
So, I was talking. Let me go through one of my notes,
please,
on this. So,
because I know Momoshiki says, like, perhaps our minds crossing over is a side effect of me supplementing my data with yours to revive you, blah blah blah. But like, why did that change anything? As it was, Boruto was 82% Momoshiki and 18% Boruto. Before that, nothing changed technically. So why did this happen?
So I'm guessing this is happening because I feel like that the pills might have changed something in the karma seal.
So you would think it was the pills and not Momoshiki's data overriding nonsense?
I feel like it was both. Because pretty much the pills target the Byakugan. And the Byakugan is like part of the Otsutsuki lineage. It's like their base dojutsu, which Amato states. But since the Karma Seal rewrites one's genetics into an Otsutsuki, the logic is that it's weakening the Byakugan and it could curtail the genetic overwrite. Now, Amato did say that there are unpredictable side effects to this. One of the side effects was decreased vision, potentially death. But we've seen firsthand that right as Boruto took the pills, he was able to, tap into the Carbon Seal's power without Momoshiki, awakening within him. And we all know that was just a temporary solution until Momo took over. One thing I do say is that, let's see. So, hold on. Okay. I was trying to sifting through my notes as of right now to see
Well,
what's
if you
going
need
on.
a second, I have a side tangent real quick.
Please.
So, Amado weakening the Byakugan shouldn't stop the ossification process at all. It should just only weaken the Byakugan. Like, if you fed this to Ishiki, yeah, Ishiki might go blind, but he's not going to become less Otsutsuki. That makes sense.
It didn't really stop the ossification, just slowed it down.
Yeah, again, though,
That's
it
all the
shouldn't
pills
do
did.
that. It like weakening the Byakugan should have no effect on the karma extracting. It's not what it's doing.
It should suppress Momoshiki, and so
again, it shouldn't do that.
Why is that?
Because all it's doing is weakening the Byakugan. All it should do is make it so that Boruto / Momoshiki can't use the Byakugan. It shouldn't do anything else.
And Boruto tapping into the Karma Seal's power using
like when that Byakugan's eye out, it should just be blurry or something. That's all it should do.
And it's not like Momoshiki taking over got rid of the drug in his system. Why was Momoshiki even able to use his Byakugan?
Look, he didn't use it anyway, and he just had it out, but...
I'm gonna count that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, though. The one thing it was made to do, it didn't do.
And
it's not like Momoshiki said, "Oh, I can't use my Byakugan anymore." It's just the same as always.
Yeah. Thoughts?
It was made to suppress, but
made to suppress the Byakugan.
Yeah, they said
I'm gonna say maybe it'll help with karma, and that's fine. But fundamentally, that is like a rare 1 in 100 chance that probably shouldn't work. And the thing it should have done is weaken the Byakugan, and that's the one thing it didn't do.
Well, I guess so.
If anything, it strengthened it. Naruto used it for the first time when he had never used it before.
Well, yeah, okay. So what I was gonna say is, Naruto did say that it wasn't gonna get rid of the karma nor reverse the ossification that's already taken place. But neither will they know what kind of effects that it may cause. And there was a chance that he may die, but that only happened after, Kawaki impaled him. That's not really a side effect, that's just a plan, but still. They don't know what's going to happen when Boruto took the pills. So they did mention that there was unknown side effects to this. Now, let me go back to, because this is in chapter 58. I think in chapter 57, which I'm so glad I took screenshots of. Oh, so it's a drug crafted with the aim of weakening a Byakugan's power.
And because of that, it might have an effect on slowing down the ossification process. And again, I'm fine with Amado saying it might work, but it realistically shouldn't have worked.
It should have worked?
Yeah, because all it's doing is weakening the Byakugan's power. Why would that stop the karma from extracting data? Not even related. Just because the Otsutsuki have a Byakugan doesn't mean it's going to do this.
Let me see.
Like, for Amado, if he's grasping at straws, he's going to try anything. That's fine. But fundamentally, this should have like a 1% chance of working.
Listen closely. The best way we can expect is curtailment. It doesn't solve the fundamental problem. We might be able to stop the progression of the ossification temporarily, and regular dosing will likely become necessarily made. Oh my god! I think you guys were talking about this about the Byakugan pills and how it's not.
We have
showing...
a lot to say about the Byakugan pills, but
yeah, I was just remembering. Oh shit! You guys were kind of going on a tangent about not the Byakugan pills not making any more of an appearance,
making no sense. But yeah,
the Byakugan pills are like the most wasted plot point of the Code arc.
Yes.
There was no reason, given what they did, there was zero reason to even include them. If you just don't put that chapter in, and you just have Momoshiki take over chapter 65, you have changed nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, you've only improved the story because now we're not asking all these questions.
If anything, if they were going to include it and have Boruto die and Momoshiki bring him back, it should have had something to do with the pills. If they were going to do that,
should have killed him. Yeah, then Kawaki can kill him in the next arc.
Now, I think I was trying to get to something like that. So I think the pills, like whatever, like when Boruto took the pills and Momoshiki revived him, I think it might have done something to the karma seal. Like it might have altered the karma seal in a way where now Momoshiki and Boruto, they're no longer just two souls inhabiting one body. They're now merging together. Their thoughts are overlapping, and Momoshiki is becoming Boruto. And this has pretty much made Boruto's entire situation with the karma seal infinitely worse.
So 2 things. One is going to say, I want you to be right, because that's way better than what I think is the case. 2 is, I don't think that's what they're doing for 2 reasons. One, Boruto took these pills for like a day, 1 week. We see him taking one scene, then done. 1 week, and then the Code arc happens. He just not taking them for long at all in the manga. And then Momoshiki specifically says that he thinks it's the mixing of their data thing, whatever shenanigans, that's causing the crossing over. And they never address the pills ever again. I'm not saying it can't be a later revelation. I want you to be right, because this is 1,000,000,000 times better than the stupid crossing over data bullshit anyway. I don't even like that plot point. I like the pills if they did something with it. But
because here's the
I don't think,
because here's the thing. I was gonna say, because here's the thing. The pills, when he took those pills, it was a temporary solution, but it was never a permanent one. Now, the pills, all it did was just give Boruto some semblance of control. But when they were mentioning how it has unknown side effects, I was just thinking to myself, well, what's that going to do to the karma seal? What's going to do to Boruto's body? I feel like that was I feel like Momoshiki reviving Boruto and using the last 18% of the karma seal's data over and like kind of overlapping with his flesh. I feel like within whatever was going on with Boruto's body at the time had to have been because of the pills. Now Ikimoto's not going to say that, because I don't think he's going to bring that up ever. But that's just me, because when he introduced the Byakugan pills and Boruto took him, I feel like that could have been the answer towards why Boruto's situation, where Boruto's in the way that he is with the karma seal now. That's just my thoughts. That's just my take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, truthfully, that should be the answer, but I don't think I don't think he'll ever mention that.
What do you think, Oodie?
Oodie?
Did he disconnect?
I think so. I think he went somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Let me just check my messages to see if you BRB'd. Oh, yeah, he said I'll BRB. Oh, okay then. Never mind. We'll wait for him to come back. I was trying to look and I'm trying to see if I could find it. Oh, okay, I see. I remember, so I was gonna do a Mitsuki rewrite. Well, Mitsuki / Momoshiki / end of part 1 rewrite. Really like 3 different videos, but at this point it's so late that I might just do it all as one thing. But I was gonna use the pills in the rewrite more than they did, but I think if I remember right, the main thing I just did to keep it simple for that video at least was just to have a consequence of Boruto stopping the pills was what it was. So I didn't. It was basically just Boruto was being stupid for not taking the pills anymore.
Well, I don't. I feel like that if he took the pills again, even more unknown side effects could happen.
Well, it's possible, but in this case, I think it just was a mistake anyway. But in the rewrite, just made it a mistake because he doesn't take him anyway. But I feel like we've also done some streams where we came up with some other ideas for the pills. I don't remember though. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I either way, I would love the pills to come back in some capacity. Like I don't care what they do at this point, just do something with the stupid pills. Because again, as it is, they didn't do anything with them. Might as well have not existed.
I feel like that. I think there is now. Here's my notes. So the suppression pills are pretty much accelerating the loss of Boruto's consciousness. Now, let's look at context clues. Boruto says that he feels like he's dying. Now, he collapses mid-battle after seemingly gain control. Momoshiki appears later. Momoshiki comments how strange. Actually, I don't think that was Momoshiki. Him commenting on how strange Boruto's vessel is. I think that was Code. If I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean? Like, yeah. So I think what you're talking about is when Boruto does his quote unquote true essence form, and then Code's like, oh, strange. Why is it that Momoshiki always appears? And then it turns out it wasn't even Momoshiki anyway.
Yeah. And then, Kawaki pretty much notices he's losing control faster after taking the pills, which suggests that the pills may be disrupting Boruto's chakra balance or maybe his soul body cohesion, unintentionally making it easier. Yeah.
It would also have been a cool twist if Amado had some ulterior motives, like he's just lying, like the pills are actually going to do the opposite of what he's saying because of XYZ reason Amado has, and the pills just are making him Otsutsuki faster or something of that nature. And then Boruto stops taking him because he feels suspicious and blah blah blah. But even that, the story just didn't lean in that direction. I don't think it's not to say that they can never come back to it, but like that's one of those things you just would have played with more.
The problem with that is that, and like everything before and after, it's been so long since Amado's been sus that we just don't know what he wants or what he's actually doing or up to where even things from back then, we still just don't know about yet for that exact reason. And that, you should argue we probably should have got it in that arc, if not like the direct exact excuse or reason of why, at least like, these pills didn't work at all like Amado said. Why is that? ... And that's all you get for that arc, but it's giving you the answer for the pills in that arc, saying there is more to this. I promise you we'll get to this in the future, just not now. But we just don't know still. Did the pills even work? Was Amado genuine in his intentions? We don't know. Still.
And then you come back to the manga versus anime discussion. Let's just say Ikimoto writes that the pills were actually doing the opposite all along. Well, great. Good thing you didn't tell the enemy that, Ikimoto, when they wrote that the fact that the pills 100% stopped for 3 months or whatever. Like,
and like I said before, when Boruto took those pills, it just made things worse, not better. Because, like I said, there are unknown side effects to the pills. Boruto just took it like in haste, and now he's pretty much. I feel like that should be the consequence of.
I don't think I would say it made things worse, to be in all fairness, because time passes between the Boru fight and that. The Otsutsuki just was going to progress no matter what. And
Yeah.
Momoshiki coming out again was inevitable because it already happened. So I wouldn't say it made it worse. I would just say it didn't do anything.
It depends if you think his heart attack or whatever was from the pills or from Momoshiki taking over. Or Momoshiki didn't take over.
But even let's just say it's from the pills. Momoshiki was gonna come out anyway, eventually. Like the moment Code knocked him to the ground, like it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Let me see. We're talking chapter 64, I believe.
But that's also another good point. We still don't know for sure whether the heart attack was the pills or Momoshiki. Just never addressed.
See, but the problem is it's going to be addressed as soon as we find out if or not there is something to do with Amado. Whether that Amado thing happens or if the series ends and they do nothing with Amado. Because the longer they wait to pull the Amado trigger, the more stuff that's being built up to the point to where whenever they do reveal Amado's true intentions, if they do that in the future, who knows if they even will, if they do that, that's going to be the longest podcast of all time, because now we're going to have to go back through the entire series and apply that context to every single instance, and context to wherever Amado does anything, it's with this in mind.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the longer you hold off on it, it just opens the door for more and more expectation. And that's not to say that long build-up is a bad thing, but it is a double-edged sword, because as you continue to wait, you almost just need a better payoff, or else you're going to be that much more disappointed. Whereas if the Amado reveal happened, let's just say in the Code arc or the Prophecy arc, you're not going to be. You just didn't have as much time to build more and more expectation from each little sus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just funny how perfection. Like,
I think it's so funny how. I think it's just so funny how they made True Essence Boruto look more powerful in the anime than he did in the manga.
They did? I still haven't watched the anime.
So.
In the anime, we always see is just him punching Code. Code is. Well, I think it's more so how Ikimoto draws out the fight scene.
Yeah,
because it's not as exaggerated as it is in the anime. Because we see Boruto whenever he punches Code is going into the ground, but we also see like him using the Hyuga style gentle fist, and he creates shockwaves out of his hands. And whenever he punches Code, he generates an even bigger shockwave, starts sending him flying. Whereas in the manga, the fight structured in the similar way as Dragon Ball Z, like always. And
does Code just get bodied in the anime version, or is it like an even fight?
It's pretty similar to the manga. It
kind of looks like, it looks similar to the manga, but we clearly see that, the difference in how Boruto taps into his karma versus Code's. Where we know Code has a defective karma seal, but it's still useful in some ways. Whereas Boruto is just Boruto's karma seal is the original karma seal, and it's got more raw power, not than whatever the white karma seal is. Hold on. Boruto versus Code. Full fight. Okay, here it is. Okay, there we go. I'm looking at the fight right now.
Yeah. What do you think of it so far?
Yeah.
Well,
so it's looking. I don't think it is looking even. Actually, wait.
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Same Hay Station.
Yeah.
From like 12 minutes ago.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just reading chat. He said, "Wee." Well, I guess while Immortal's doing that, I will actually reach out. Okay, so Momo stocks rising after Ikemoto/Kishimoto's Z. Well, their Z. It's very interesting.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Boruto Z.
They're gonna get some Z's.
Either Boruto Z or catching Z's. It could be either one of those.
Yes. Konohamaru grew up mostly during Naruto's reign, so the shinobi weren't raised to be as harsh. Exactly. Alright, let's see how I'm gonna get rage bait today. Shout out Inferno, Momo Inferno, whatever that is. Love is an offensive. What is blood waffling about? Okay, Jura might be Kakashi Shinju clone.
That was Jonathan Oliver, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Bye, this is Spider-Man. Bye, Millennium Kage. Well, I don't think Millennium Kage left, but you get the idea. Horikoshi didn't plan anything. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying he didn't. It would go along. What I was saying is it would go along with the themes.
Wrong name, by the way. You said Horikoshi when you meant Togashi.
Yeah, that guy. I think I said Togashi, did I not? Who's Horikoshi?
You said Horikoshi. I just didn't correct you. But
who's Horikoshi? What is that?
That's the MHA writer.
Right. That's why Space commented on that. Okay, that's why.
Exactly. That's why I was like, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I guess
that
was
funny.
doomed to happen.
Yeah, no, I definitely meant Hunter x Hunter. It would be thematically relevant there. But either way, Isekai means another world. It's not an Isekai if it's not another world / universe, and that's just inherently dumb if you're gonna discredit it for that reason. So sorry to RJ, but that's my opinion.
Great question.